The series begins with us seeing Elliot. And Elliot, my friend, is a computer engineer who is very smart about anything related to software in general. Anyway, Elliot is currently sitting in the metro on his way home. At that moment, he notices that two people are watching him. So he starts talking to himself and says, "I should have gone to Angela's birthday party, but I didn't." So, my friend tells me that Elliot went to a very famous cafe in the city at the time and met the owner of the cafe. He said to him, "What is your real name?" "Rohit. And you changed it to Ron when you bought the cafe, right? And now you have 17 cafes in total." At that time, I got nervous about this talk and asked him, "What does he want from me?" He said to me, he always comes here because the internet here is very fast." Because of his curiosity, he hacked into the network and also hacked into Rohit's account. At that time, he discovered that Rohit had a website. Not only that, but at that time, my friend, he also took out a file that he had with him, full of pictures and files that would imprison him and send him to hell. When he saw the file, he was terrified and asked Elite to leave instead of reporting it to the police. Elite threatened him and said, "Then they will know all your troubles." I went after him and he told him that he never hurt anyone, so why was he trying to do this to him? I came back and told him, "You are different like me. I don't know how to talk to anyone. The only one I knew how to talk to was my father. But he died of leukemia, which he got because of the rumors about the company he worked for." I went at that time and didn't understand why Elite told him that. "What is the benefit of this information?" He didn't respond to him. After that, Elite asked him if he was blackmailing him and wanted money to leave him. They knew that he wouldn't give him any money because Elite committed a crime and hacked his account. At that time, if he reported him, he would be imprisoned because he was the same person exactly as Elite at that time. He was shocked and realized that he had not only hacked all of this, but also his own computer. Rohit was very scared at that time and offered Elite a lot of money, but Elite told him that he is not interested in money and left him, and from here the police came and arrested Rohit because Elliot had informed him early before he even talked to him. That's how we knew why the YouTuber did not go to Anshal's party, because he was doing this whole thing in public. The next day he goes to Allsave Company where he works as a software security engineer. The company doesn't arrive and talks to Angela for a while, but Angela is upset with him because he didn't attend her birthday party yesterday. He apologizes to her, but Angela gets over it and accepts his apology. After that, Ollie, their friend at work, comes now and tries to talk to Elite. When Elliot saw him, he got very upset and left Sakat, and this is because Ollie loves Angela and Elliot loves her back. So because of this, they can't stand. Ollie, by the way, my friend, knows this very well, and that's why he asks Angela to talk to Elliot and try to fix their relationship a little, and leaves her and walks away from Sakat. Meanwhile, Elliot went back to his office to start some work. Ollie comes and tries to invite him to lunch, but Elliot refuses. We also learn that Elliot hacked all his accounts and learned that he is a very despicable person and also betrays Angela. That's why Elliot can't stand him, and that's why he also refused Ollie's invitation. Ollie got upset and left. When Ollie walked up from the E-Corp company, they are now reaching the company. And E-Corp, my friend, is the largest company in the entire country. It literally controls all industries, banks, and even markets. You could say that if this company collapses, the entire economy of the country will collapse, and more. By the way, more than half of the population literally owes money to this company through loans alone. Currently, Colby is the CTO. The guy from the company was passing by the Elite while he was working. So one of the engineers with him noticed the Elite while he was working. So he stopped and greeted the Ute and told him that his name is Willick and that he is Colby Valet's deputy. He introduced himself to him, but he was the second. After that, Willick told him that working together would be really fun and left. Valet didn't understand the sentence, to be honest, nor did he try to understand it. He didn't care, to be more precise. After that, Valet finished his work and went to see the psychiatrist Krista. Because, by the way, Elite suffers from hallucinations and sometimes sees things that aren't there. By the way, the Ute also hacked all of Krista's accounts. You feel, my friend, that it's almost a disease of his. He likes to know everything about everyone by hacking into their accounts. He found out, of course, when he hacked her account, that since she got divorced 4 years ago, she has been completely destroyed and only loves unsuccessful men, like a guy named Michael. At the time, Valet was worried about her. From Michael, he decided to hack into her accounts as well to make sure that Krista would be safe with him or not. He finished his session with Krista and left. When he came back, he kept crying from his loneliness and the great depression that he had. Because of his depression, unfortunately, he took morphine to help him calm down. He stayed like this for a while until his morphine ran out. The next day, his neighbor Shyla came. Now she gives him another box, so he takes it from her and gives her the money, so she leaves immediately. On the same day, at night, Red leaves his house and goes to meet Michael in the street and asks him to help him and give him his phone so he can talk to his mother. Michael actually helps him and gives him the phone. Red takes Michael's phone and calls his own phone. Then he deletes the number and gives him his phone back, leaves it and leaves so that he can go back home to hack it again. But when he returns, Angela calls him from the company and shocks him and tells him that a hacking operation is currently taking place on the servers of the company, I-Corp. She asks him to go to the company immediately so that no one can stop this hacking except him. Elliot reassures her and tells her, "I'm coming," and closes the line. After an hour, Elliot arrives at the company, so he is shocked by the sight of the hacking that is currently taking place on the servers. So he sits and tries to work on it and modify the system's protocols. But he fails because the hacker, my friend, was able to control the entire network. At that moment, the company's president, Gedwin, comes next and is nervous because of this hack. At that moment, Elliot is shocked and also knows that currently, every time they try to turn off the servers and turn them on again, the virus copies itself from the beginning and the new. From here, Elliot understands something important, which is that these hackers want this. They want Elliot to turn off the servers and turn them on again so that the virus spreads more and more. Now, a good idea comes to him and he tells Gedwin that they must cut off the internet on all their servers, then clean them of all viruses and turn them on again. Gedwin then likes this idea and immediately takes Elliot in a private plane and they go to the place where his servers are. AnyCorp. As soon as they arrive, the hand comes out. His laptop connects to the servers and starts changing the password and cleaning it well and is able to stop the hacking that is happening. After that, Elite notices a code called fsociety. Fleet is very surprised by this and is even more surprised when he finds another code asking him not to delete the virus and leave it hidden as it is. The strange thing, by the way, is that Elite listens and does not delete the virus and hides it in a place where no one can reach it except him. After that, he closes his laptop normally. After that, he rides the plane with Grandwin. At that moment, Grandwin thanks him for saving them, and they sit talking for a while until they return to the city. As soon as they arrive at the city, Elliot rides the metro to go back home. But suddenly he finds a very strange person sitting in front of him. This person is wearing a jacket with Mr. Robot written on it. Mr. Robot shocked Elite and said to him, "Since you don't, I deleted the virus. Come after me." Elliot was shocked and quickly went after him and asked him who he was and what he wanted from him. So Mr. Robot told him, "When we go now to Corny Island, we will know everything together." Elliot is silent and walks with him. In general, after a while, they arrive at Corny Island, and they both enter a completely orbital building, and we find other people in this building. Elliot still does not understand anything, but Mr. Robot informed him that he and all the people here are the ones who carried out the attack yesterday, and currently they are working on a very big project. Whoever asked him at the time, what exactly is the project? Mr. Robot told him, "I will tell you everything when the time is right." He left him and went. Indeed, he is walking now and is returning to his city. He is terrified of what happened and is trying to convince himself that what happened did not happen and that he was just hallucinating and nothing more. To reassure himself, he goes back home, and the first thing he does is open his device and searches for the name Mr. Robot everywhere on the internet, but he does not find anything with that name. So he searches for Coney Island and learns that it was a property of a company called fsociety about 13 years ago, but its owner died a year and a half ago from a bullet in his brain. Therefore, there is no longer any owner of Coney Island at all. From here, Elliot becomes 100% sure that Mr. Robot is very, very smart, and it is difficult to find any information about him within a second. Elliot takes himself and goes to Korea Island again, and there he meets a girl from Mr. Robot's team named Darlene. As soon as Darlene saw him, she asked him when he would enter the company's roots. Felt was surprised and asked her what exactly she meant. So she told him that she wanted to add the Colby protocol to the virus file. But she still noticed that Elite did not understand any of the nonsense she was saying. So she blackmailed him and left immediately. As soon as she left, Mr. Robot arrived and took Elite and went to a quiet place. The one who threatened him said, "I will hand you over to the police." Mr. Robot asked him to calm down and told him why they were doing this. They knew that they wanted to eliminate the financial monopoly system in the country as a whole and destroy the company that controls 70% of the country's industry as a whole, which is the I-Corp company. Of course, if this happened, all the debtors would be freed from their debts. This company that too at the time was laughing and liked this talk a lot, frankly, and he knew from that moment that Mr. Robot chose him specifically because he works in the All-Safe company, which is supposed to be there to protect the servers of the I-Corp company. And not only that, but Mr. Robot now gave him the Colby protocol and asked him to put it in this virus file in order to put this charge of hacking on him. Which Tootha did not see that there is any benefit from all of this, so Mr. Robot convinced him, meaning that companies like this are being eliminated piece by piece. So he was convinced in the end and took the protocol from him and left. In general, he returned home and began to read about the debts of most of the people to the I-Corp company. And he knew that Angela also owed millions for these debts. So he began to write the codes and prepare the protocol and put it in the virus file and put it in a blue file like this. And he looked at his bag and went out too. The first thing he does when he arrives is attend the meeting in which they will discuss the hacking operation that happened. By the way, FBI officers are present at this meeting. He gets nervous and takes out the main file, which is white. Focus, my friend. I told you that the modified file is blue. Anyway, Colby arrives after that and asks Angela to explain what exactly happened. Angela starts talking and informs them that the hacking started at 2 a.m. and she discovered the hack at approximately 2:30 a.m. At the time, it was crazy that it took her almost half an hour to discover something like this. Angela didn't know how to respond to the truth, but Eid intervened and saved her and told her that she acted correctly and called him, and that was the worst thing she could have done. What happened, my friend? Shook Angela's image in my heart's eyes, and he knew then that she wasn't at the required level. So woe betide him. He told Jadwal to remove Angela from the meeting completely because she wasn't at their level at all. And that's what actually happened, and Angela was holding back her tears as she was leaving the meeting. What happened, by the way, really upset Elliot. So he decided to take revenge on Colby. He took out the blue file from his bag and handed it over to the FBI. He told them that when they cracked his code, they would know who was behind this attack. So he finished his meeting and went back home and started practicing his favorite hobby. He talked to Michael and told him that he was a bank employee, and he asks him a few questions like his apartment number and also the team he supports and the name of his pet, and then he closes the door in his face. And then he enters all the answers he got on the device so he can extract his password, but he fails to be honest and he realizes that Michael is not his real name, so he doesn't waste time, and after he finishes hacking his account, he gets some sense and goes to meet him and tells him that he knows that his real name is Lenny and threatens him and asks him not to meet Krista again because he knows that he is not a good person and it is not right for a poor woman like Krista, or if you don't listen to these words, he will tell your wife that you cheated on her with 7 other women, because then he gets scared and they know that he will listen to them and will not do anything. And not only that, but now he takes his dog from him against his will, and then he returns home with the dog and deletes Lenny's file from his device and puts it in a cylinder and carries it in a bag like this next to her sisters, whom Elliot had already finished with. The next day, he went to meet Krista for the session, and at that time he noticed that she was holding back her tears. So he understood that Lenny hurt him, and by the way, what was done like this from the beginning is my friend because he is originally afraid for Krista and wants to save her from a pig like Lenny. But anyway, he finishes his session and goes to the company and suddenly finds the world upside down there because of the news of the arrest of my dog. At that time, she said that the Joy goes down to the street and raises his hand like a madman. In the middle of his joy, people came and took him in his car, thankfully, and he has now arrived at the company I-Corp. As soon as he enters the building, Willie is sitting waiting with 11 lawyers. She said, "I am nervous, but woe betide him, and let him know that he works with them here at I-Corp. Not only that, but he is also the head of the cybersecurity department for the entire company and is trying to..." He was greedy, and they knew that he would become a millionaire in a few years of working with them. Bassett told him, "Leave me to think, and then I will get back to you." Folick got upset and asked the 11 lawyers present to leave and sat talking to Elliot alone. They knew that he had become the temporary CEO in place of Colby, but he was completely confident that he would be the permanent CEO. Elliot also knew that at the beginning of the second quarter of the year, AnyCorp would completely abandon the Osaife company. Folick, He wants Elliot in any corp so that he won't be thrown out in the street because he has very high skills. But despite that, Elliot, my friend, still refuses because he is working with Mr. Robot, who wants to destroy his company, AnyCorp, so it doesn't make sense for him to be working badly on both sides, of course. Willie gets upset with Elliot and allows him now that he has already left and has his men deliver Elliot to his house in the car, exactly as they took him, and leave him and walk through it. Then when Elliot arrives at his house, there is Shyla's dealer who pities her. When the dealer saw Elliot, he let her walk and walked too. He checked on Shyla after that, took morphine from her, and entered his apartment to take drugs as he was. After that, he turned on the device, and in less than a moment he hacked all of Willie's and Willie's accounts. By the way, note that this password is very easy. In addition to the fact that his email is originally, there is nothing important in it. Valet was shocked and understood that Willett knew that Elite would try to hack his account, and in the end let him do it with all ease, which is frankly disgusting. And he quickly grabbed the device and burned it and burned everything in it, so that Willett would not know who hacked it. The next day, Valet went back to work and went to meet Granddaughter in his office. Granddaughter was shocked and told him that a certain hacker in society hacked the main server of A-Corp, and they had a full terabyte of information, important information, and currently they are threatening to destroy the company if we do not release my dog from prison. Elite, my friend, went crazy because he knows that Mr. Robot and his gang are the ones who did this. But he went crazy because they want to release my dog whom they have imprisoned. And Granddaughter is now showing him a video of the thousands of society demanding by releasing Salah Kalbi and liquidating all the people's debts and completely dismantling his company, I-Corp, and donating all its assets to charitable universities. And if they don't do this, everyone will die. His mind, my friend, brought up the error, and he didn't understand exactly what was happening, and he remained silent until something happened, one way or another, to make him understand what the phrase was. He left the company to return home, so Biska Ollie and Angela Foley invited him for the second time to go out to eat with them. But Elliot wasn't focusing, to be honest, in what he was saying, and so he agreed because he wanted to go home quickly. Indeed, he took some and left quietly. Focus here, my friend. When Elliot sold records, he came and bought a record, and we will know why later. I told you to focus on a small piece of information like this. Now Elliot has returned home, and there he finds Darlem waiting for him, asking him to go with her. Valiot agrees, so Dalen takes him and they both go to Coal Island. As soon as they arrive, everyone applauds the Elite for what he did this time. Valiot is honestly a bit happy with everything that is happening in front of him. After that, he goes to talk to Mr. Robot. At that moment, they are shocked and find out that they intend to blow up the Gaza station because this station is next to the data storage site of A-Corp. Valiant told him that A-Corp will definitely be ready, especially after the last hack that happened to them. Mr. Robot reassured him and told him not to worry. We will make everyone focus on our request to release Salah Kalbi, and we will work. In silence, they also knew that this was not his idea. It was the idea of the girl with them whose name is Trenton. He returns after that to complete the explanation of the plan to make him understand everything. He asks Elite to hack the control unit of his company that he works for, which is Allsave, and increase the pressure more than necessary, and then blow up the gas pipes. But he does not like this talk because there are needle workers working in the station and they will die because of this tunnel car. So Mr. Robot got angry with him and told him we will turn on the alarms and warn them not to make a big deal out of it. This is a war and people must die in the middle. Elliot then fell silent and Mr. Robot continued and told him when the gas explodes, Darlene's program will enter the data center and destroy them completely, and their backup copy that is in China. The Dark Army hackers will take care of it there and destroy it as well. Literally, my friend, Elliot does not like this talk at all, and he is now cursing. Mr. Robot walks after a while and returns home but passes by something first, and there he is shocked because he finds the dealer he was harassing sitting in the apartment and taking drugs. The first thing that happened is that he told Elliot to sit and talk to him. Elliot sat down. Secondly, he starts to introduce himself, but poor Elliot. He does not know that Elliot knows everything about him. He knows that his name is Vera, and he deals drugs on Twitter using code words like, for example, biscuits mean weapons, and food means bullets, and so on. What has kept Elliot from getting rid of him until now is that Vera is Sheila's dealer, and without him, Elliot will not be able to get morphine. Anyway, Vera is sitting now, babbling about any words, and he finishes and gets up to walk. After that, the hand gets up and opens the bathroom door and finds Sheila sleeping in the bathtub, drugged and not remembering anything. He understands that the despicable Vera assaulted her. The hand, of course, gets angry at this move, and from here he decides he gets rid of Vera completely because she became dangerous, and indeed the next day when he goes to work, he starts to inform the police and tells them the code that Vera is using and also tells them the location of the new deal that he learned from his tweet on Twitter. So accordingly, the police take this information from him and thank him and go arrest Vera and his men. On the other hand, we see Ollie and Angela, and we find that Ollie is trying to play the CD that he took from the cellar, but he notices that the device hangs every time he tries to play it, and also finds that there is a message coming to him from a girl. So the pig is happy and now says goodbye to Angela and goes to meet the other girl, not knowing that because of the CD of the seller who sold it to him. Last time his device was hacked, and currently he sees Angela in the cameras of his laptop. And he is filming her very well, and the hacker who did this, by the way, Biff, is very happy and now sends a message in Chinese to his group, informing them that he has successfully entered. Meanwhile, Elliot went to meet Mr. Robot in a park in the city and told him that he knows very well a way to extract the backup files without blowing up the gas pipes. Mr. Robot refused to listen to this and told him that in order for the team to return, he must pay the debt that he owes. Without any introduction, he jumped over the fence that they were sitting on, and with that he was done. Elite paid his debt and returned the team again after a while. Elite wakes up and finds himself sleeping on a hospital bed and finds Sheila and Dr. Krista in front of him. She reassures him when she finds him well and lets him talk to Krista alone and leaves the room. At that moment, Krista talks to him and tells him that he won't be able to leave here without her approval. She asks him why he refused to do a drug test. She tells him that he takes morphine. Unfortunately, Krista gets upset and tells him that he has to go to the rehabilitation center and stop all this talk. At that moment, she finds out that he is not an addict. She asks him to prove that he is not an addict and do the test. He agrees. Why did he agree? Because my friend, he calculated that after the analysis comes out, he will hack the hospital system and change the result of the analysis from positive to negative with ease. And he actually does that with ease and leaves the hospital and goes home with his gang. The next day, he wakes up in the morning and goes to work as usual. But this time, when he reached Mr. Robot, he went crazy and grabbed him and asked him to leave because of what he did to him last time. Mr. Robot threatened him and told him, "I will stay sitting here if you do not come and talk to me in the casino next to us." Of course, he got scared and went with him against his will to the casino. At that moment, he asked him, "What else do you want from me?" Mr. Robot apologized to him and then got up to leave SOCAT without saying anything else. My friend Future went after him and asked him about the news of the plan. He replied and told him that he is the key to the whole plan, and without him, there is no plan. After that, Sue was shocked like this, without saying much, and he is not. He understood everything and walked into this situation. At the company, we saw Ollie with the CD, and he was hesitant to play it on the company's device because, by the way, he knew that it was a virus that could infiltrate. He also knew that the hacker threatened him and asked him to do so, which would expose the photos he took of Angela. But before he played the CD, he saw Angela coming towards him, so he quickly removed her from the device without playing her. After that, he took Angela and they went to his grandparents' party. By the way, Elite and Sheila were at this party, and Sheila came with Elite in her capacity. She was supposed to be engaged to him, but that was not our important topic. At the party, they saw news on TV. The announcer said that there was a new scandal for A Corp, and that Colby was one of the 3 executives involved in covering up the famous scandal, the Washington Township toxic waste scandal, which led to the death of 26 employees due to cancer. The blood, which is leukemia, of course. Elliot went crazy and was very surprised by all this talk because if you remember, my friend, that when he was talking to Ruit, they found out that his father died of leukemia as well because of the rumors about the company he was working in. And the truth is that he is not the only one who went crazy. But Angela is the second one who went crazy because her mother died from the same disease and for the same reason. And he lied at that time was walking, and Angela was the second one walking and returning home with Ollie and the only one. Ollie tells her about the disaster he is currently in and shows her his pictures. Angela went crazy and told him that they have to leave each other. And he was more shocked. And he told him that this hacker currently has all her and her father's bank accounts because she had them all saved on the laptop. Of course, he tried to reassure her and told her that they would report the police. But she refused because this would make the hackers sell their and her father's account information. She went crazy and told him that they had to do what was required against our will and decrypt all the company's files. Ollie went crazy because he was very afraid of losing his job. He went and sat next to her and tried to calm her down. On the other hand, Coney Island returned and started working on a plan from SOCAT. By the way, he started explaining to them exactly what they would do and telling them that the tapes that contain the information are made of magnesium and therefore iron oxide will stick to them very easily. No one understood anything from this talk. He told them that, in other words, if the temperature of the place exceeds 35, the bond between magnesium and iron oxide will decrease. And this, what is the lesson from it? The moral is that all of this will ruin the data and make it unreadable. My friend explains all of this to them, but this plan has a problem, which is that they have to enter the facility themselves. Romero, who is with them by the way, is with them on the team. He shows him a map and pictures of the facility and the terrible amount of cameras that are there. He tells him to consult with him about the security personnel in the picture and tells him that we will exploit them. He leaves them for now and walks away. He returns after that to his house and takes his last dose of morphine with him. The next day, Darlene stops him at home and tells him that Romero has some comments on his plan, so she wants him to go and explain them to her. At that time, he doesn't waste time and tells him, let's go there. After a while, they get everyone there. As soon as they arrive, Romero finds out that A-Corp is currently intensifying its security system in a terrible way in order to be able to implement the plan. They have to travel to more than one city because they have distributed backup copies across 5 facilities. Elliot reassured him and informed him that he knew from his father that they will still operate these facilities in the second quarter of the year. They still have many days until they transfer this data to the remaining 5 facilities. That is why Elliot asks them to prepare the plan today and quickly. Darren also reassures everyone and informs them that the Dark Army will complete its part of the plan as well, and quickly. But Romero still thinks that it is a bad plan because one of them has to enter the facility. Fed approaches him and tells him that he is the one who will enter the facility himself. He is finally convinced and thus everyone gets in the car so that they go to a hotel near the facility. The moral here is that while they are in the car, the withdrawal symptoms start to appear on Elliot, and he cannot stand it and faints. As soon as they arrive at the hotel, he enters the room, takes off his clothes, covers himself and tries to. He resists these symptoms and continues to suffer and suffer and suffer a lot and also hallucinates. But after long hours of suffering, he wakes up a little and starts crying when he finds that there is no one beside him. But Mr. Robot appears now and reassures him and tells him, I am with you until the end. He says he is happy, frankly, and wipes away his tears at the same time. Darlene and Trenna went to meet the Chinese Dark Army and are currently sitting with 2 masked ones of them in the car, and then the car moves with them and reaches a place and makes them get out of it, and as soon as she gets out, she walks a little to the end of the street, and there she finds the record seller, so she slaps him with the pen on his face and says to him, I have been looking for you for a while, and from here, my friend, we learn that this person's name is Cisco, and he is Darlene's fiance, and he works with the Army of Darkness, and currently Darlene tells him that they have to finish their mission tomorrow, and she begs him to ask them for this, and they leave him and walk the next day. Yate had started to improve, and Romero is making a herbal drink to help him a little, so Yate took it from him and thanked him, and then they move after that in every direction of the facility. At that same moment, we see Angela enter Ole's room one by one and opens her bag slowly and takes out the same record and puts it in her bag without Ole noticing, and immediately. Then you go to Old Safe and open the computer and play the disc on it, and from here we can say that the Dark Army has hacked into all safe companies' system, and the plan is going great from both sides. In general, Free Mr. Robot is sitting in the cafe, where the facility's security always sits, and at that moment, Mr. Robot goes and knocks over one of the security personnel and literally copies all his information from the card in the bag and takes it and gives it to Elite Valet, who programs this card on the computer. After that, they walk and go up to the facility and are able to enter without any problems with the card they have. When they enter the facility's garden, they prepare themselves for the plan and decide to take advantage of a person in the facility named Bill Harper so that he can get them to the first floor, and from there, Elite is supposed to meet an employee named Wendy so that she can take him to the place they want, and the Elite actually enters the facility and meets Bill there, and they know his name is Sambal. and he asks him to take him on a tour of the facility. But Bill, my friend, refuses to do that and tells him that he should have made an appointment first before asking him for something like this, and asks the YouTuber to leave and come back the next day. Elliot told him to look for him on the internet, and he got up now to leave, but before he leaves, he searches for Sam Samble's name on the internet and knows that he is a billionaire and his wealth is $17 billion. So of course he quickly called Elliot and apologized to him and carried out his request immediately and took him and went up to the first floor. My friend started introducing him to every place on the first floor of the facility. That's it. This mission is supposed to be over here. So the elite has to get rid of him so he can continue to the other floors. Elliot, by the way, doesn't know how he's going to get rid of him, and Mr. Robot told him, by the way, on the receiver hit him, but he didn't do that. He talked to Bill and told him, "You are hateful and you don't matter, and if you die, no one will care. Instead of wasting time with him, call someone important who has more value than you." Poor friend. He gets very upset by what he said and takes out his phone and calls his manager. After he did that, he was going to apologize to him, but Mr. Robot prevented him from doing that so as not to ruin the plan. The problem is that the plan is actually ruined because it's not Wendy who comes, but another girl named Trudy. Everyone, literally nervous from her, and Elliot asks her to bring Wendy, which shocks him and everyone, and tells him that Wendy didn't come today at all, and she immediately takes him to the elevator to make him leave the facility completely. Meanwhile, the rest of the team were trying to find any information about this strange Trudy, and they were shocked that they literally didn't find anything about her. Mobley, who is with them in the team, has a somewhat diabolical idea. He sends a message to Trudy, telling her that her husband is very sick and is dying in the hospital. As soon as Trudy reads this message, she is terrified and leaves Elliot in front of the elevator and walks like a crazy person. Elliot takes advantage of this opportunity and goes out and opens the door that leads to his stairs on the second floor. But after Romero enters, he tells him to go out. This is the wrong door and she has to go around the other side. He listens to him and goes out, and when he goes out, he finds Foyk in front of him. He is surprised and asks him what he is doing here. Felt told him that Summer sent him to check on the data, so Foyk believed him and offered to treat him to lunch. Felt agreed and went with him to the public restaurant for the employees there. Felt started thinking and provoked him and said to him, "Do you eat here?" And of course, he told him that, because there is another restaurant for VIPs on the second floor. Foyk, my friend, this question provoked Felt. And Felt took the restaurant on the second floor, and by the way, this is what Felt originally wanted. As soon as they sat down and the food was brought to them, he asked permission to go to the bathroom. He quickly went to the bathroom, and at that moment, he cut off the electrical panel next to the bathroom and started installing his hacker device. But he did not have time to install it, and that was because a boy came after him to the bathroom. But he did not see Felt while he was doing that, of course. But he shocked Felt and told him that he knew that he was the one who imprisoned Colby, because he takes revenge for his father's death and reassures him and tells him not to worry. "I will not report you because I do not have any evidence, and even if I have it, I am not interested at all." He left him and walked away. At that time, Light did not waste time and entered and installed the device 100% and locked the panel. Of course, he will get out too. On the other side, in Coney Island, we see Darlene trying to enter the channel with the Army of Darkness, but she believes it when she finds herself expelled from the channel, and she does not know how to enter with them at all. She goes crazy and goes to meet Cisco and tells him everything that happened. Cisco shocked her and told her that the Army of Darkness withdrew from the plan. He left her shocked and walked away. She does not know who will implement the rest of the plan now. On the same day at night, Ulysses and the rest arrive at Coney Island. They die of joy until Darlene tells them that the Army of Darkness withdrew and disappeared. They will not do anything, Mr. Robot. He went crazy and started breaking the place. Fadlin sat on the device and decided to carry out the plan without them. But Mr. Robot made her upset and told her that even if this happened, all the information is with the Army of Darkness. He asked her not to do what she wanted to do until he saw the plan first. By the way, he was going to talk to her and reassure her, or we will find a plan very soon, but calm down. He then offered her to go and sit with him in his apartment until she calms down a bit, so she agreed and actually went with him. The apartment, as soon as they arrive, Elliot enters Sheila's apartment first, so he can take his dog from her, but he finds the door open and Sheila is not there. He finds his phone on the floor, so he answers it and is shocked when he hears Vera's voice calling him from prison. He then realizes that he had his men outside kidnap Sheila so that he could threaten the Hand at his ease. Anyway, whoever finds out from him, where did he keep her? And now he goes down to meet her in a restaurant near his house and sits and talks to her for a while and apologizes to her for getting her into this situation easily. But he promises her that he will save her from this mess, and he doesn't get to finish his words, and Vera's men who are with them in the same restaurant arrest her and take her, and now they're leaving again in the car. As for the elite, there is another person who takes their warehouse and makes the elite talk to Vera on the phone again. Vera, my friend, said to him, I know that you are the one who imprisoned me from the beginning, and I am frankly amazed by your strength, and I want you to use it and get me out of prison as well. Elliot said to him, And how will I get you out of prison? I cannot do this, and even if I could, I would need long weeks to be able to penetrate the prison's security system. But Vera, my friend, was not convinced by his words and said to him, I am waiting for you anyway so that you get me out today. After that, he sat laughing and hung up. The call after a while, 2 of Vera's men take Elite and return home with him. Elite, by the way, knew that Isaac, Vera's brother, was one of the 2, so he was suspicious of him, to be honest, and of course, he hacked his phone to make sure. Meanwhile, Delene was throwing a virus flash drive in front of the police car as she was asked to, and she kept standing there until a passing policeman noticed the flash drive, so he took one of them and looked up the name. There he ran it on the device without thinking, and everything was fine, and the virus was running smoothly inside the government's system. But suddenly the security program started working, and the policeman knew that there was a virus. The policeman was terrified and turned off the entire device, and because of this the program stopped at Elite. But anyway, Elite had hacked the system and everything was going perfectly. But he was upset, to be honest, that the security had detected his virus, so he downloaded it. Now he meets Darlene and quarrels with her because she made a very weak virus. Fadlan told him that she didn't have much time and made it in just 1 hour. She gets mad at him because he is independent with her and works for her, and she leaves. But before she leaves, one of Vera's men comes and arrests her and Al Light and takes them both back to the apartment. At that moment, Al Light comes to him with a good idea and says, No, we have to go to prison quickly. Fadlan is very surprised, but he takes him and Al Light and takes them to the prison in the car. As soon as the one who comes out reaches him, he takes his phone and starts doing something with it. Then he enters the prison as if he is visiting Vera normally. He sits and talks to him normally, and Vera learns later that his phone is currently picking up any non-wireless signal in the prison so that it can connect to the prison network. Vera tells him, You are stupid. If I escape after you come here, you will be arrested because there is a 100% chance that he will suspect you. At that time, he knew that he would open all the cell doors and thus all the prisoners would escape, and thus no one would know that he had done it. This is especially because Vera at the time laughs like crazy and is very impressed by Elliot's intelligence. But then he is shocked and annoyed by his intelligence when he learns that he hacked his brother Isaac's phone and knew exactly where all the shipments were hidden. So with one call he will destroy all of this and threatens him, and knows that he will do this if he does not hand over Sheila after he escapes from prison at all. In other words, it scares him for the better. He was pleased to hand over Sheila to him, and then assured him that he had put all this information in a certain device, and if he did not disconnect this device within 24 hours, all the information would leak automatically. And of course, as I told you, YouTube says this to make sure that Vera will not be betrayed by it, but after that, the visit ends and the person takes his phone and goes out. But he is very upset because he did not know how to penetrate the network. And this is because it is from a security system, very high. But suddenly someone takes care of Bluetooth like this is for the police car. So he was very happy because he knew exactly what to do with this Bluetooth. But he finished and returned to Isaac and the rest. Faiz got everyone out of the car and took Elite alone, and they went to a far place. He didn't reach him, so he took out his gun to kill Elite. Valet understood that Isaac doesn't want Vera to go out and wants to kill him so that they don't go out. We know, my friend, that Isaac agreed with people inside the prison to kill his brother, so he is afraid, frankly, that his brother will go out and he will kill him. So he said, What do you face now with this truth? Signs of tension began to appear on Isaac's face. Valet took advantage of the opportunity and told him, Be patient, bring your brother Vera out and then you can kill him as you please. Faiz was convinced and didn't kill him. He took him after that and returned to the rest. Ferret later, Darren, so that the police car would stall for a while, and he spoke to the officer, giving him about half a minute extra so that he could connect to the network through Bluetooth. Indeed, during this time, Elite. He writes the codes very quickly, and his plan succeeds, and he connects to the network successfully. That same day at night, he and Isaac stand in front of the prison gate. As soon as the clock strikes 10:10, the power is completely cut off from the entire prison and all the cells open. Even if the power returns, the cells will remain out for 2 full minutes. Within those 2 minutes, my friend, all the prisoners went out to the gate, opened it, and literally all escaped. Of course, Vera was among them. After that, he met Elite and Isaac and started laughing. Suddenly, he said to the third person standing with them, "Kill Isaac." He carries out the order and kills Isaac with a shot to his head. Of course, all of this happens in front of Elite, who is shocked. After that, another car comes so that Vera can escape in it. Elite is surprised and asks him, where did she just stole it? Vera gives him the key to the car bag and tells him, it was with you the whole time. And Floyd walks and opens the trunk of the car, and my friend, he collapses from crying because he sees Sheila's body in front of his eyes in the trunk in a very cruel and sad scene. On the other hand, we see Angela meeting the lawyer who was representing the 26 families who were harmed in the Washington Township waste case, and she is trying to present them with papers proving that any corporation is guilty, in this case, so she can sue them. But the lawyer is now mocking her because these documents and all these papers are not enough, and there must be strong evidence, such as someone from within the company turning against her on them, and Vangla admits that she is eating it now. It is a good idea, and we will know what it is, but a little bit in front, because now we will go to a completely different place. We will go to the company, I-Corp. There, the new technology president, Scott, is sitting in his office. Scott, by the way, noticed this and started to make fun of him and said to him, I know that you wish that I would die because I took your place. He approached him after that and said to him, you will never be in charge at all. Not only that, but this is a slip, my friend. Woe to you. He said to him, take this watch and sell it so that you can pay the money that you owe. Volt got very angry and left Scott. He returned home after that and started breaking it piece by piece. His wife talked to him and calmed him down and told him exactly what to do. Scott's weak point is his wife, so she left him. He started to think about her words well and left. After weeks of all that happened, we are currently seeing Mr. Robot is talking to Darlene and tells her that they need to contact the Dark Army so that they can complete the plan. Darlene told him that she tried more than once but couldn't reach them, to the point that she tried to hack Cisco's device but failed, of course. She also told him that she used Cisco's name and sent many requests to the Dark Army to hold a meeting, but no one responded to her. Mr. Robot then told her that they need to meet White. So she laughed at him and said that it is impossible for her to meet him face to face. He told her that he has a very good plan that will enable him to meet him, so he left her for now and went to meet Romeo at his house. They knew that they will start working again because he has a good plan. Frome was upset and refused to continue with him and told him that he will work in agriculture and forget all of this. Mr. Robot went crazy and took out his gun from his pocket and raised it to Romeo's head and said to him, I didn't want to hurt you, but I wanted you to come back with me so that we can change the world. After that, he lowered his weapon, of course. Romero was terrified, and then he started laughing and said to him, I am waiting for you at Coney Island. He left, and the next day, my friend saw Angela talking to the lawyer, and the lawyer told her that Colby's lawyers called her and told her that they would let Angela talk to him alone, and they stipulated that she not be present at the meeting. Of course, Angela gets nervous, frankly, when she hears this. She wanted the lawyer to be with her, but the lawyer calms her down and encourages her to go alone. Angela gets excited and immediately takes her mind off things and goes to meet Colby at his house. Because he is not imprisoned in the truest sense of the word. But you know, you are the one under house arrest, who is imprisoned in his house and does not leave. Anyway, when Colby saw her, he asked her how much she wanted. Angela did not answer him, and she asked him if he attended the company's board meetings in 1993, the year in which the waste crisis occurred. He acted like an idiot and did not reply to her. Angela told him that if he confessed to everything, she would testify against herself and say that she was the one who framed him for the crime and put the virus in his file. Frankly, he did not believe her and threw her out. Angela left him in a state of collapse and then called the lawyer to introduce her, but the lawyer told her to go back to him again because he called her and wanted to come back to negotiate with her. Then Angela gets happy and returns to him and meets him again, and Cole helps him confess everything to her, and that he actually participated in these meetings and told her after that they ignored the waste normally, even though they knew that what would happen would have been a disaster, but they did not care and hung up on that day. This talk makes Angela cry a lot because her mother died because of careless people who have no need for anything in life, and she told him about that. By the way, Corby pretended to be affected a little and understood why she wanted to testify against him. After that, Angela leaves him now and walks and goes after that to Allsave Company and meets Gedwin there and tells him everything, and that Kolb will confess and she will testify again. This talk does not bother Gedwin because it will harm Allsave's reputation, because they imprisoned an innocent person because of them, and if this happened, no one will deal with Allsave, and he told her if she saw that all the workers here would be displaced because the company would be completely closed, and he left and went to choose with a burning conscience. On the same day at night, we see Squat holding a party in the company on the occasion of his official appointment as head of the technology department. Of course, Woe to You and his wife were at the party, and at that moment, Will decided to carry out his wife's plan. He then realizes that Squat's wife is on the roof of the company, and he grabs her and strangles her like a madman and kills her. After that, he sits crying because he did this, and then he wipes his fingerprints from her neck and runs out like a madman. The next day, we see Darlene go and meet Cisco. At that time, Cisco got into a fight with her because she was using his name and sending him messages on his channel, the Army of Injustice. He was angry at the idea of her, to the point that he broke off his engagement with her completely. He then got up to leave, but before he left, he told her that White Rose had agreed that he meets them and will hold a meeting with them very soon, so Fadl is happy to be honest, even though she is upset. As for Cisco, he took his courage and left. After that, he met Ollie for the second time, and this time he threatened him and said, "I will expose you if you do not do what is required of you." Foley gets scared and asks him, what does he want? He tells him, what exactly do you want? And we will know, by the way, what is required of him in front of us. But now we will return to Coney Island. At this time, my friend Elite was sitting with the whole team, and he is now talking to them about his plan and confirming to them that he was monitoring the device that he placed in the facility daily and was able to know through it that A-Corp transferred data to 5 other facilities, but they are all on the same network that they hacked. So everyone is very happy because they are all on the same network, meaning one network. Meanwhile, Lloyd, Elite's friend in Allsave, calls Valet and knows that they need him urgently in the company, so he does. And he walks so that he can take me back there at the same time. This is Grandwin, who is in Anycorp, and he is talking to Wilk, and they know that one of the employees has confessed that he framed the crime for my dog. Folic is shocked, and his shock is intensified when he sends a message to Grandwin as well, and asks him to return to the company because the network of the entire company is down. So he quickly asks permission from Wilk and takes some of his things and leaves when he leaves. Then Wilk's secretary comes and informs him that the police want to meet him. It is necessary because they discovered his body on the roof and they know that she died at the time of the party, so they want to investigate him. Of course, Wilkie gets nervous and asks her to go out and tell the police that he is not there. He comes to him later and takes each other's cheeks and walks to the other side. Jedwin was returning to the company, which was literally all upside down, and the one who reaches the company is the other. He now begins to see the attack that is taking place on the network, and he notices that the attack is tired and not attacking a specific thing. So he understands that this attack is just a distraction, nothing more than that. But he does not know exactly how to be honest about it. So he keeps thinking in the middle of this thinking, and whoever comes to ask him for a favor asks him that he means to take the old hard disks that he has and give her the store that sells the hard disks that he has. He was outside in the street before 2 o'clock and was leaving, and when I walked at that time, I noticed that Ollie was very nervous and scared when he asked him to do this, so he hacked his account now to know if he was hiding something or something. So he was really shocked because he found a lot of talk about Angela, and he knew that she was being blackmailed now. So he went crazy and went down from the company and went to meet Angela and asked her why she didn't know about this blackmail. So Angela told him that someone sold a CD to Ollie and hacked everything on the laptop and threatened him after that and asked him to put this CD in the company's device, which at that time he understood, my friend, that they were the Army of Darkness. And he also understood that they were the ones who asked Ollie to give him the hard drives and go take them to the recovery store at 2 o'clock. So accordingly, he left Angela and went to the store. He didn't enter the store and said, "I am the one who enters the room." It is isolated like this, completely hidden in the store. And this room, by the way, is literally isolated and what there is no sign or networks. The important thing is that the hand is facing White Rose, who frankly does not know if she is male or female, but we mean that we will make her a female now. Fleet is now giving her the hard drives, so she takes them and starts to disassemble them and asks Elite to tell her his plan quickly because she does not have any screenshots. She told her that they want to hack into a corp because everything is ready, and he told her, "Now, I have a plan ready that will allow me to eliminate these 5 facilities at the same time." White Rose told him that he is not ready for anything at all, and his plan has a lot of mistakes, and shocked him after that, and told him that Jedwin started to doubt him and transferred, by the way, the infected servant who he originally refused to delete to the safe mechanism. At that time, he was shocked by that and promised her that he would find a way and get this servant out of the mechanism. White Rose told him, "You have exactly 50 hours and we will start hacking after that," and left him and walked. The one who walked was the second. He was in a hurry and was trying to think of any way, and he couldn't find any solution other than hacking into Grandpa's phone quickly before the deadline ended. But to do that, he needed something to distract Grandpa himself. So he took out his phone and called Darlene and asked her to prepare a live video of society and show it on the company's TV. But he just hung up and went back to the company again, waiting for the distraction, and as soon as Grandpa puts his phone to charge, he sends a message to Darlene to start the distraction. And that's what happens, and the video of society is playing on the TV. The company, all the employees and grandfathers went to watch TV. Of course, Elite took advantage of this opportunity and entered Jedwin's office, grabbed his phone and found out the new code that would enable him to get the server out of the security system. But the problem is that this code changes approximately every 90 seconds. So Elite has to quickly log in with it from another device before these 90 seconds are up. Based on that, Elite runs to his device quickly and turns it on. At that time, by the way, Jito notices that YouTube is missing and did not watch the video with them. So he goes crazy because he originally suspected YouTube from the beginning. So he started looking for it like a madman until he saw it sitting at its desk. He started quickly heading towards YouTube, who was racing against time and typing in the new code. As soon as he finished, Jedwin immediately logged in and asked him what he was doing. The one who did not come to watch the video with them was everyone. He watched him, then yelled at him again because he didn't come to watch and kept arguing with him until he told me to come and let him know that the head of any corp wanted to talk to him urgently. So Elliot preceded him and walked after that. Elliot opened the security for him and wrote an order to cancel it completely and return the servant to his normal path very normally. The second one we saw was Willick sitting now in the car with Mr. Robot, and he said to him, "You have to tell me what exactly you are planning because we are both supposed to be partners," but Mr. Robot told him there is nothing between us and then opened the car door for him to leave. Willick threatened him and said, "Don't forget that I know your dirty secret." Mr. Robot got scared and said to him, "Do what is required of you, and you don't have to know what I am planning," and left him and got out of the car. Willick then got very angry from his words and went back home and sat remembering like a madman, and suddenly 2 investigators were knocking on the door and asking him to let them in, so that they ask him a few questions, so he is forced to let them in. At that moment, my friend, his wife, saves him and does very difficult things. She hurts herself and breaks her amniotic fluid because she is pregnant. Immediately, he takes advantage of the opportunity and tells them to call the ambulance because she is in labor. Indeed, the investigators met with him and called the ambulance. On the other hand, my friend, he met Darlene and made her very happy. He told her that the plan had succeeded. In exactly 43 hours, the entire operation would be carried out. Darlene was very, very happy until she asked him if he remembered exactly who she was. The one who was surprised by her question was strong and told her, "You are Dalen." Fadlan started crying and knew. He forgot who she was. From here, he was shocked and thought that Dalen was actually his sister. From this shock, he left Sokat and literally went crazy and felt that he was insane. As soon as he got back home, he broke his mirror because he doesn't understand who he is, and why he forgets a lot of things, and why he doesn't remember anything, and why he hallucinates a lot, and many things like that. So in order to know who he is, he hacks his friend himself this time, but he doesn't find any information about him. but they are literally all deleted records. So he asks if he deleted himself or something, like he does with all the people he gets rid of. In order to know the answer, he takes out the bag that contains the records and keeps searching in it very well until he finds a record that doesn't have any name on it. Without thinking, he takes it and plays it on the device and finds in it. The pictures open and he is literally shocked because he finds pictures of Mr. Robot, a lot of them, including several pictures of him with him when he was little. My friend is very shocked because he knows that Mr. Robot is his father. In the middle of his shock, his father literally comes to the apartment and tells him that they need to talk. Then he takes him into the apartment and starts talking to him. He literally cannot believe it. His father tells him that he was waiting for you to get to know him on your own. This made Elite angry. He grabbed his father and pushed him against the wall and said to him, "Why didn't you remind me of yourself?" His father asks him to calm down, and he is right, my friend, because his father is supposed to be dead. He is supposed to have been dead for 20 years, and he doesn't even remember the day before he appears. So he keeps yelling at him really hard and telling him to calm down because we have to implement our plan today, and then we will see about this later. This talk drove Elite even more crazy, and he refused to do anything. Something without him understanding first what the story is, so I tell him to come with me and I will explain everything to him. Of course, the one who followed him like a madman who wants to understand, and they continue walking until the train station. Then they both get on the train. Anyway, after a while, they arrive at a completely different city, and at that time his father takes him and enters their old house in that city to help him remember everything. At that time, my friend stands in front of the window and remembers the thing. After that, he grabs his father and pushes him towards the window and says to him, "You pushed me out of the window when I was little, and you also pushed me over the fence while I was talking to you." Abu T tried to calm him down but failed, and he went and pushed him over the window. At the same time as this is happening, we see willy-nilly he returned to the company, and as soon as he entered his office to Philip, who by the way will be the big president of the I-Corp company. Philip is talking to him now and congratulates him because Wild gives birth peacefully after that. He tells him that Scott's wife died, and Scott and the police suspect you are the one who killed her, so I'm expelling you from the company. Folik goes crazy and screams like a madman and begs Philip not to be expelled from the company, but Philip, my friend, is determined and expels him permanently and leaves him and walks away. At that same moment, Darlene called Angela and asked her about Elite, and she also told her that Elite is in a state of panic now because he forgot her again, and she asks her now to help her urgently and look for him because she certainly knows where he goes at times like this. Angela agrees and goes to meet her, and they both go together to Elite's old house. But they do not find Elite there, and they leave the house and run away quickly because they heard that the new owner of the house came, so they leave the house. The lesson is that when they went out, they found glass, the window was broken, so they started to get nervous for Elite because they felt that he might have something to do with the breakage. At that very moment, Elite was supporting his father, meaning that he was taking him to the place he wanted, and they kept walking for a while until they reached the cemetery. The lesson here is that as soon as they arrived there, they found Angela coming after them. So his father got upset when he saw them and said to him, "Look, I will always be with you and no one will be able to separate us. And don't allow anyone to separate us." After that, he sat on the ground and leaned on a specific grave. Darlene and Angela arrived at Elite Valet. Valet cried and asked Darlene what exactly his father meant. Angela told him, "You mean who is our father?" Valet looked at his father and was shocked to find that he had disappeared. He found himself standing in front of his grave, and my friend began to feel severe pain in his head and a big limp in his leg. He kept crying because he understood that all of this was a hallucination and that he was actually Mr. Robot and had thrown himself out of the window. That's why she was injured in the beginning. After my friend calmed down from this shock, he took the train with Darlene to go back to the city again. Indeed, after a few hours, they both arrived at Elite's apartment. At this time, Elite was very depressed to the point that he told Darlene that we had to stop our plan completely, because I wasn't the one who made this whole plan. Badlan began to convince him and made him know that this was his idea from the beginning, and part of him knew what was right and what was wrong. And he wants to do the right thing after that. You leave him so you can go buy his medicine that might help him get better a little. Wow, it wasn't unfair. You walked, but my friend, he opened the door and entered like a thief and shocked Elliot now and said to him, "I know that you are the mastermind of everything." Then he sat down and asked Elliot to tell him everything about the plan. Indeed, whoever agrees and doesn't tell him about the plan. But no, he takes him now and takes him to Coney Island, and there he explains everything to him about the plan. But at that time, he is very impressed by the intelligence of Elliot, who is supposed to be Mr. Robot. That's why he decides to join the plan officially and destroy any corp with him, as we know, my friend. He was expelled from it, so he wants revenge. The next day, my friend, we find the whole country in terrible chaos, and there was a huge collapse in the entire economy because of the hacking operation that happened yesterday. Literally all the European markets collapsed because of this movement, and the governments began. She prepares herself for an emergency because of the many demonstrations that filled the streets. 2 days after all of this, a person comes to wake up Valet, who at the time was sleeping in his car. Now he gets out of the car and doesn't remember anything. The important thing is that the person who woke him up told him that he had been parked here. He told him 2 days. He was shocked by the word 2 days because the last thing he remembered was that he was with Wilk in Coney Island. Literally, in those 2 days, everything that happened evaporated from his mind. In order for him to understand, he got himself together and went immediately to Coney Island, or why he didn't get there. The whole team destroyed their devices and shocked him and then said to him, "Didn't we agree to celebrate together?" Valet, my friend, was terrified and didn't understand anything. He was shocked when she found out that he disappeared from the apartment when she went out to get him medicine. After that, he carried out his plan that he had been planning without anyone knowing, and he didn't. And just like that, you also know that the plan succeeded and the whole people were pleased, and it made a terrible change, and they are now diverting people and making demonstrations to join the Life Society, which at that time opens the device to make sure for itself that this is really what happened, and then he finds the world upside down because of the Life Society and because of the hack that they did. And this hack was done in China as well by the Army of Darkness. So most of the global markets fell what happened to it. In order to understand what exactly happened, he says, "I need to meet Willock now. Maybe he can tell me everything." So he takes some and goes to his company, i.e. the Corp Dollars, to meet him. But as soon as he arrives at the company, he finds the world completely messed up and crowded everywhere because of the collapse that is happening. And all the rich people are scared, along with the heads of state. But Elliot doesn't care about all of that and goes to ask the receptionist about Willock. She tells him that he is not here because he was fired from the company. So he drops his hand and walks. While walking, he finds that fsociety is watching a new video. He stops and listens. Now he and all the people hear a masked person saying, "We destroyed all the financial statements of IE, the Corp ERs, as we promised all the people. Any money the people owe to IE, the Corp, was lost to them, and all the people's debts were forgiven because of us." This talk, my friend, literally pleases all the people and all the demonstrators who are currently in the square, Times Square, and in general, meaning after this broadcast ends, Elliot leaves the company and continues circulating on Wii, and this time he goes home. At that moment, he meets his wife and asks her about him. She tells him that he is not here and lies to him and tells him that he called her from his car and that he will be here in 10 minutes. But of course, Elliot knows that she is lying. So he tries to get her divorced in this way and leaves her and walks from Souk. At the same time, what is happening is that the I-Corp company is trying to calm the entire nation and also has Vice President James appear in a press interview in order to calm the people. But the broadcaster asks him a question that will bring him to his death completely. She says that the company's shares have fallen to $18, so are you worried, especially since you have lost $250 million so far? He told her, "We are trying to fix the problem, and there is nothing more I can do. I will tell you." She asked him again and said to him, "There are allegations that say that you are not. You will know how to reach the financial data again, and all people's debts have disappeared." So James told her that the White House is helping us and reassuring people about the money they lost. But the broadcaster embarrassed him and said to him, "How do you reassure people about their money while you lost all the data in addition to your data that is also in China?" From here, James became tense and decided to tell the truth. Instead of reassuring people, he made them worry about their money and told them that they lost all their money and even lost his money. He then brought them the truth on his plate and told them that in the end, this problem cannot be solved. He took out a gun from his bag and killed himself in a scene that happened live on air. At that same moment, by the way, Elliot returned his car to Wilk and began searching it well and looking for anything that would lead him to Wilk. Indeed, he finds a flash drive like this. So he goes crazy and keeps screaming for Mr. Robot to appear to him, but he does not appear. Fleet comes out of the car, goes to cyber in the city and plays the flash drive and finds a video recorded from the garden where he was sitting with Mr. Robot when he drove him. But now he sees himself throwing himself over the fence. So he knows, my friend, that Mr. Robot is provoking him, sometimes making him think that he himself is Mr. Robot, and sometimes he confirms that Mr. Robot is real, and sometimes it makes him think that this is his father, and sometimes it makes him think that he is a strange, unique person who goes crazy and decides to make him show himself by force if he was really a real person. He goes to the employee and asks her to give him the phone so he can call the police and report himself. But he does not have time to do that because Mr. Robot actually appeared to him. As soon as he saw him, Tota grabbed him and stuck him to the wall and kept strangling him. But my friend, he is strangling him from his own perspective because in reality he is strangling himself because, like I told you from the beginning, Mr. Robot is Elliot, but Elliot does not want to admit that at all, and his mind does not want to make him admit that, and Elliot keeps yelling at Mr. Robot, who is himself, and asks him to tell him where exactly. Mr. Robot pushes him away and tells him that you do not know where he is because I am you. Elliot is crazy. Elliot told him that it is impossible, so Mr. Robot left. He kept insulting someone like that and made him hit him, and the one who was affected by this blow and fainted was Elliot. At the same time, he was also at a party, as I told you, in Kanya Island, and it was full of people. This was also part of the plan, meaning that the fingerprints of these people fill the place, and thus the governments, even if they reached this place, would not be able to determine who the hackers were who did this, because millions of people came here and left their fingerprints. Also, by the way, there was a party in the streets of the city from the demonstrators who support the mysterious hacker company, fsociety. As for Elliot and Asna, he was riding the metro crying, and he kept crying until he reached his home and saw the chaos he caused, and saw the economy collapsing and the demonstrations everywhere. With this point, the first season ends, and believe me, my friend, I want to tell you something very important, which is that this is just the starting point for Elliot's transformation from just an ordinary human being working in a normal company for Mr. Robot, who until now I am not convinced that he is actually Mr. Robot. And of course, I do not want to tell you that there is a big disaster waiting for us in the second season, because the economy of the whole country is ruined, and the whole world is at stake, and all the people are passionate everywhere, and therefore the second season is much heavier than the first season. So wait, my friend, because God willing, the next video, and that's it.